The UK's seas are home to an amazing range of wildlife and habitats. Chalk reefs, deep water canyons, shorelines and important breeding sites. But these stunning environments and the extraordinary wildlife are at critical risk. Much has already been lost or destroyed. There is a very real possibility that they may be lost forever if we do not act now. This film is about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save what remains and start a process of long-term recovery for our seas. The UK's coastline, with its stunning scenery, wildlife and seabirds, is central to our identity as an island nation. And much of our coastline, like our most special places and wildlife sites, enjoys environmental protection. But for the surrounding seas and the wonderful, fragile biodiversity of the seabed, it is an altogether different story. At present, our seas and marine wildlife have only very limited protection in just a handful of places. But right now, you, have a golden opportunity to change that. Over 120 areas of the seabed around England and Wales have recently been proposed as marine conservation zones. This network of key habitats currently has no protection. But the Wildlife Trusts and many others have been working hard to ensure that it is protected for future generations.
We're going to load the van up with some enormous fish.
For the last 2 years, the Wildlife Trusts have gathered signatures on scales on giant fish for their Petition Fish campaign in support of the entire Marine Conservation Zone network. Over 250,000 people have already signed a scale, and in January 2013, those signatures were presented to MPs, members of the House of Lords, and the relevant government minister at Westminster. The aim is to put the Marine Conservation Zone network firmly on the political agenda.
Today is another of our big events where we put pressure on every MP from every party to do something about the long term rather than the short term.
The 127 sites make up a network of protected areas for wildlife. This means that fish stocks and other endangered species can recover and in some cases move between designated zones, as well as spill out abundance into the surrounding areas. But the government is only planning to designate 31 of the sites.
We've announced a consultation on the first 31 sites. There'll be more to come in future.
31 sites are an important first step, but they fall far short of the ecologically coherent network required.
We need all 127 because together they can form a network of sites that will give marine wildlife a chance.
On the plus side, the government does recognise that marine conservation zones benefit the UK economy in the long term.
We know from work that's been done by economists that there is a huge benefit to Britain's economy of having a healthy marine environment where fish can breed, where we're finding room for nature, room for commerce, and many times those can overlap perfectly adequately.
The government has also made a fantastic commitment to police fully designated zones. But the chance to create an ecologically coherent network could still be missed if government fails to designate the remaining zones.
It is the habitat on the bottom of the sea, the benthic habitat, that is so important in many cases. And it only takes one trawl of a scallop dredge, and that is often irreversibly affected. We are witnessing at sea what is the equivalent of a vast bulldozer going through an ancient forest on sites that should have been protected.
The complete network has cross-party support.
We all know and have accepted for a long time that marine conservation zones are one part of a good, sensible policy to conserve the marine environment and boost fish stocks.
This campaign has made big strides, but we're not quite there yet. And I hope very much that we're going to see that, as they say, ecologically coherent, in other words, it makes sense, network of zones so that we can protect and conserve these extraordinary landscapes and the fish and the biodiversity under the water for generations to come to enjoy.
Government needs to be persuaded to take action on the entire network now. And that's where you come in. Consultation on the first 31 zones runs until March 2013. Then more pressure is needed to make sure that the rest of the network is designated. Through the Wildlife Trust's website, you can respond to the current consultation process. You can become a friend of your local marine conservation zone. The site also provides help and information resources on how you can write to your local MP.
Go to the website straight away. Don't hesitate. We need your support.
Act now and help us secure protection for our seas. The Marine Conservation Zone proposals cover English and offshore Welsh waters. Proposals for protected areas in inshore Welsh, Scottish and Northern Irish waters are pending. See the website for more details.